Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Lasham Daily Briefing for Tuesday, the 9th of June, 2026. Okay, looking at the synoptic to begin, this was at 6 or 7 o'clock local time this morning. We can see here generally sort of lower pressure at the moment with a bit of a nasal high working its way in there from the bottom of the chart. But predominantly looking at the UK and our area in particular, we've got this occluded front moving its way through from west to east. Now that's bringing with it some showers, of course, gustier winds at times. Looking at by 1 o'clock local, that's moved well clear, so it's quite a fast moving front, indicating a fairly high speed flow. And it's losing quite a bit of energy, as you can see there, it is weakening. So expecting with that showers, some sort of lower cloud with some gustier winds, and as that moves through, a sort of improving picture with maybe a few showers behind it. Sat pick, a little bit of evidence of that there. You can see moving through, but definitely more broken in the south, more showery. Looking at the rain radar, sort of sinking up in places there. Quite a lot of showers coming in from the west and developing sort of as they run in towards the mainland there. Looking at the Met Office prediction for that, we'll just run those through. You can see quite a lot of showers all the way up until sort of early afternoon, sort of just after lunchtime here. There's a bit of a gap and then some more coming in, but predominantly to the south and certainly not quite as significant as they were earlier in the morning. So definitely a window for flying today, and we'll just have to dodge the occasional shower. The current weather at Odium, they're showing southwesterly 2 to 0 degrees, 13 knots, visibility greater than 10 kilometers, with few clouds at 1,200 feet, scattered at 13,000 feet. 3-degree split there with a pressure of 1015. Farnborough, they have a TAF for us this morning, quite extensive there, showing a similar wind, 230 degrees, 9 knots with 10 kilometer viz, few clouds at 4,500 feet. Between 7 and 4 local, 6,000 meter viz, showers, and a prob 30 up until about 1 o'clock local of 250 degrees, 15 gusting 25. So slightly gustier there than standard. With 4,000 meter viz and heavy thunderstorms, broken cloud at 1,400 feet and breaking cumulums at 2,500 feet. I could go on, but the general trend there is not very positive. So hopefully we'll avoid the bulk of those heavy showers, or certainly I'll be able to operate after they've gone through in the latter part of today. Winds aloft to the south of us, westerly or west-southwesterly, 25 knots quite consistently there, and to the north, 260 degrees, 25, maximum 30 knots. So fairly consistent 25 knot westerly at what will be flying height today. And on the ground, you can see here a fairly robust westerly flow, versus a slight southerly component there. The local Met Office forecast showing gusts up to 25 or even 26 knots as the day goes on. Symbolic forecast showing the bulk of the showers dissipating into the afternoon, and a fairly high UV warning there, so do cover up and take care if you're out on the airfield. GFS giving us best temperature of around about 16 degrees, feeling a bit cooler with that wind, and a dew point there of 5. So presently we're at 11.7 degrees centigrade with a dew point of 8.5. And there's the webcam on the south side, sort of looking almost northwest. It gets reset itself now. So gaps in the cloud there, but fairly low at the moment. I think it's 1,200 feet at Odium. And a westerly flow there seen on a rather tall windsock. Some showers on the horizon, expecting those to come in, but hopefully reflecting the rest of the forecast. Sky sight cross section there showing actually reasonable soarable conditions locally, with not as many showers as we're seeing on the SatPic and radar there. So I suspect we'll see a little bit more than that. Definitely showing a reasonably soarable window up to maybe even 4,000 feet. The left-hand side there is an excerpt from the potential flight distance showing Lasham right on the edge of the soarable weather, but there is a band there to the north and northwest. Top Meteo showing similar there with the thermal chart here. Showers marked by those areas of green, quite consistent, but thermals up to best of about 1,600 meters. So not far off 4,000 feet there. So there is definitely a soarable window with cumulus if we can work around the showers. No TAMs then, not a great deal for us. Obviously, we've got standard TMZ at Fairford. We've also got the Lasham SGP RAT, which we'll go on to talk about shortly. Otherwise, there's nothing greatly significant there, but anyone flying cross country is, of course, responsible for their own no TAMs. We'll move on now. Look at glider bookings. Quiet day on the club side, just one K21 for booked instructional flying and one on the casual list, so plenty of capacity there for people. Simulators available, of course, this morning should it be made use of. We've got no movements expected, and the RAT will be in use today, the 9th. For any non-comp pilots, we're going to be enforcing a sterile zone from the beginning of the Grand Prix phase. That'll be broadcast on the normal Lasham frequency of 130, 131.030. That's going to be active for around about 75 minutes. Within this area here, below 2,000 feet, we need all club gliders to remain clear. So either in this area below 2,000 feet or above 2,000 feet outside of the red circle. So in summary, we've got a passing inclusion, bringing showers throughout the day. And there's a reducing into the afternoon. And we're expecting it to be soarable with cumulus and a moderate westerly flow. We'll operate runway 27 with the comp setup. And we'll go on to brief that very shortly. And just a quick summary of our club flying during the competition. We do have the restricted area, which all Lasham gliders are exempt from, but any information can be found using these documents here. We will be winching from the south side. There's a limited area to from the north side grass, and it'll be left-hand circuits to the south side grass for all club winching. We're expecting the comp launch probably from not before midday, so probably around about 1 o'clock onwards, and we will look to maximize the club winch launching capability around that. Once, if there is a club grid on the north side for any reason, once the grid has started launching, no towing out. Okay, the grid will be closed. There's our airfield setup. We have a winch and launch point vehicle on the pan on the south side, winching south of the Moan, new Moan centre line, 75 meters south of the runway there. Comp grid will be on runway 27 there, just from the cross runway back, and if there is a club grid required, that will be in its usual place. Private self-launchers are queued along as normal, please, and call up when ready for taxi. As far as finishing is concerned, depending on the wind, finishers coming in from the west may be finishing either straight in on 09, the finish line being just in from the threshold there. They may land straight ahead on 09 on the north side, or if they have excess energy, they'll finish slightly north of the Perry track, and they'll pull up and land south of the main runway, but north of the Moan line there. So if you are involved in the club op or the evening ops and we are flying, just do be aware you must remain south of the Moan line in the grass. That's all from me this morning. We'll hopefully make the best of the window we have today and do a bit more club flying. And we'll see you out there. Have a good day. Thank you.